This is Local Edition. Brad Pomerance here in San Diego County. We are joined today by Dr. Tim Glover. He is the Superintendent of Grossmont Union High School District. Tell us a bit about Grossmont Union.
Well, Brad, thanks for having us on this show.
Of course.
Today. And at Grossmont Union High School District, it's grades 9 through 12, about 21,000 students, along with 20,000 adult school students. We're located in the east region of San Diego County, so cities you might be familiar with are El Cajon, La Mesa, Lemon Grove, Santee, and also unincorporated areas like Alpine, Pamul, Lakeside, Rancho San Diego.
It's amazing that you have 21,000 students and you only cover 4 grades. There are K-12 districts that don't even reach 20,000. And so you have a lot of students that you're educating.
Yeah, we actually have 8 school districts that feed into us that cover the grades kindergarten through 8th. And large area, but we have great partnerships with all of our feeder districts.
So let's talk about what is happening at Grossmont Union today. There is a measure on the ballot, Measure BB. It is a school construction bond for $128 million. Give us a sense of the bond.
Well, yeah, the bond is a measure approved by our school board on the November 8th ballot. And the focus of it is on school construction and renovation and repair of our facilities. And as you can imagine, when you have 21,000 students going across 12 comprehensive campuses every day for 185 days a school year, facilities do need work. And the reality is that the state government, Sacramento, does not send much funding down to local school districts to help keep their school facilities in good shape. So we really have to rely on our local support to do so. This is why it's a local bond measure written and voted on by the constituents who live within the Grossmont Union High School District. And it will be, in essence, a property tax bond. So
which is standard.
It's
standard for this.
Very much so.
Now, what's interesting about school construction bonds is normally to pass a bond or a taxing measure, one would need a 2/3 vote. But as a result of a change in the law in 2000 for school construction bonds, you don't need the 2/3 that Prop 13 requires. You need 55%.
Correct.
So it's still a little bit more than 50, but give me a sense. I mean, you're out and about, you're talking to your parents, your constituents. What are they saying? How are they feeling about BB?
Well, our polling data shows right now that we're polling right around 61% in favor of that. I would tell you that's probably driven by the fact that in East County and in the Grossmont Union High School District, our families and our kids, they love their schools. And they have long history of loyalty to their schools. Our school district has been around since 1920.
Wow.
And many of our family members have been in East County that whole time. Many of our staffers reside in the community. And we have, again, a long history of just support for our schools.
Let's presume passive.
Sure.
We
love that idea.
What's going to happen on January 1st, 2017, January 1st, 2018? What are we going to see?
Well, over the next couple of years, what you would see with a positive passage of the bond rate, it would be first and foremost assembling the finance to be able to go out and do the work. So that's the actual selling of the bonds out on the market, where we go out and we put them out for purchase and support there and raise funds, somewhere between 40 and 45 million a year for the first 3 years. We assemble those funds, and then we actually start doing the construction bidding process, having the work spec'd out. And our goal there is to do this physical work that you would expect to see a school bond measure work on. Repairing leaky roof, facilitating campus security improvements like video cameras and that. Doing renovations of classrooms. And something that's very unique in East County, one of the hotter sections of the county, is we also need to do some significant work on improvement of all things air conditioning.
When you say hot, literally, you mean temperature. You're not as close to the coast as some other communities.
Oh, no, not at all. This is the time of the year through the fall where we have 100-degree weather. And many of our air conditioning units in that are 27, 30 years old. And, in the days of energy efficiency that we know now, we just have got to upgrade those to, 1, save costs, and 2, make it a better learning environment. When kids are miserable, it's pretty difficult to get into some of these very difficult topics and subject matter.
So a lot of deferred maintenance necessary.
Yes.
What about bringing the buildings to the 21st century? Again, not unique. Many school districts have this challenge, but what will Grossmont Union do on that front?
Exactly. We'll be bringing much more technology inside the classrooms and that. So you can imagine projectors in the ceiling, internet capability, and Wi-Fi in all of the classrooms. LED lighting, but also we'll be looking to add to the facilities. So many of our schools would really benefit from performing arts centers, renovated gymnasium, locker room space, And also, we are big proponents in Grossmont Union High School District for career technical education. So pathways like automotive, like gamification, computer science, culinary
I'm glad you
arts.
mentioned that because I've said this before on our program. In the 90s, it felt like the only mission of K-12 was to get kids to college. And sure, that's a wonderful goal, but not all kids will go to college. And that's okay. That doesn't make them any better or worse than anyone else. But if they're not going to go to college, they need a career. And why not get them started?
Absolutely. And
with career tech.
Yeah, in Grossmont Union High School District, we have the goal that when our students leave, we want them to be successful, whether that means entry into a 2-year or 4-year learning institution or getting out and getting a high-interest, high-wage job immediately.
I want to talk about 2-year institutions as well as K-8 institutions.
Absolutely.
Because in the communities which you serve, there are measures on the ballot similar to yours. Cajon Valley Union School District, Measure EE, is looking for a $20 million bond. That is a K-8 district. Right. Then there's Measure BB for Grossmont Union. That is Measure BB $128 million bond. And then there's Grossmont, tell me how you say their next. Cuyamaca Community College District, Measure X, $348 million bond. Then there's Prop 51, which is the state's school construction bond, $7 billion for K-12, $2 billion for community college. There are a lot of school bonds on the ballot in East County of San Diego.
Absolutely. And I guess what I would share with you in regard to that is the fact that clearly there's a significant need to invest in education, and East County specifically in that.
Right.
There are different bonds on the ballot for different types of students. The community college with its 18 age and up.
Right.
Our Cajon Valley doing some significant work on a tech bond for one-to-one initiative. We in Grossmont have already made some strides around that. We have 15,000 iPads, Chromebooks deployed in our classrooms now. So we're doing more construction facility work specifically.
The challenge, though, is their property tax.
Yeah.
And so if you live in an area that covers Cajon Valley, Grossmont Union, and Grossmont Cuyamaca, it's a triple hit. And I'm not taking a position, but I know that your voters are generous. But how do you convince them vote yes on EEBBX and even Prop 51? Because you could get money from Prop 51 if it passes too.
Absolutely.
Especially if BB passes, because you could get matched.
Correct. And that matching funds from the state is essential in that. You know, Brad, for me personally, I can speak to it very relevantly.
Please.
I live
Oh, you're that person?
boundaries. I am that person.
You're that person, right.
And what I know is that when I have the ability to use my property taxes so that it stays local in East County, cannot be removed to Sacramento or Washington, D.C., that it's used to help employ the construction firms in San Diego County, I feel like, yes, it's property tax. But yes, it's my neighbors and wonderful people who are being employed to do the work. Our school sites are benefit from the work, whether it's K-8 or our local high school district doing the same thing. Again, we're willing to invest in ourselves, and Sacramento doesn't give us any other option. This is the only way to raise significant funds to do the facility repairs that we need for our local school sites.
Right.
We
it's
control
interesting.
That option.
Yeah, you mentioned that because under BB, that money stays local. Prop 51 passes. You bid for part of the $7 billion. No guarantee.
Yeah.
If BB passes, it increases the likelihood you'll get some Prop 51 dollars. But again, this money would stay in East County.
Yeah, and this is $128 million that goes right into the financing of the support for the Grossmont Union High School District. If Prop 51 does pass, yeah, we could be eligible for an additional $50 million in match.
Not bad.
So not small potatoes by any means, but it's a good blend of Sacramento weighing in, but also allowing us in East County to invest in ourselves through our community, our parents, our staff, and focusing on ourselves.
He is Dr. Tim Glover, Superintendent of Grossmont Union High School. I'm Brad Pomerance. It's Local Edition.